Hey, hello everybody. So today we're going to talk about reducing credit card debt and eliminating it and never getting back into it ever again. So, the nature of where I had credit card debt from was I was going to college, and the way I did it was I was working almost full time and then pretty much full time, and then going to school eventually pretty much full time. You'd be amazed how efficient you can get. So taking, let's say 4 classes at a time and working, 32 hours or more per week at the same time. And so when the weekend came, I allowed myself to have fun, and that fun was in the form of, going out. There was a local comedy club, and, going out and having some drinks, having a good time. Costs money, and so you rack up a little credit card debt while you're having this incredible load of school going on. So I allowed myself to get into debt, like little fun things like that, trips, things like that. The standard fun things that people do. Some people buy things they don't need. Some people go out and do things and have fun. However you got into your debt, just paying for standard bills of life, things like that. Anyway, so you're in credit card debt. I was in credit card debt and I needed to get out. So here's what I started doing. I had a girlfriend at the time, eventually my wife, who had a lot of great ideas to help me get out of credit card debt. So a lot of these are basically her ideas, and those are probably other people's ideas. And you could probably have to figure out how far back you have to go to find out whose original ideas they really were. So I'm not taking personal credit for these. These are just the tools that I use to help get myself out of credit card debt. So step 1, call every place that you have a credit card with and say, is there a lower interest rate available? A lot of people didn't know you could do that. Call all of them up and say, I'm at 16% or whatever interest. Is there a lower rate available? And you'd be amazed. It might be temporary lowering. It might be a permanent lowering. A lot of them will lower your interest rates, and that's money in your pocket, not going to finance charges. So step 1, give them a call and find out if you can get a lower interest rate. The next one, the way I went about it, the way she and my girlfriend at the time advised me, was pay the lowest balance first. So if you have 4 credit cards out, pick the one that has the lowest balance and start there first. So you're putting just the minimums on the other 3, the smallest balance being the 4th one. You focus all your money on that one and pay that off first. Then when that's done, what you now have available was the minimum payment due on that last 4th one plus all that money. That goes to the next smallest one. And I'm sure somebody wrote a book about this. I want to say the term is like a anti-debt snowball. So instead of rolling into debt in a snowball, you're rolling yourself out of debt in a snowball. So that begins to gain momentum on itself, and then eventually you're going to have them all done. A lot of people will have a temptation to see, I have a 1 year, 0 interest balance transfer, 12 months, 18 months is probably the best one I ever saw. So you need to make sure you run the numbers on those, because every single one of those has a charge, and it's going to say a percentage, and what that is they're going to charge you a certain percentage of your balance as a fee and tack it on. So you need to make sure that you understand that, because sometimes that fee can be pretty substantial if it's a high enough percentage and the balance we're talking about is substantial enough. So you need to figure out, are you going to get paid off, and does it make sense? And so you can run some math formulas and figure out, is that going to work out for you or not? So that's all real quick. Wanted to talk about credit card debt. Those are the tools I used. Let's summarize it real quick. You're going to call the credit card companies and ask for a lower interest rate. You're going to pay the smallest balance first, and then continue rolling up to the highest balance. And that's going to, I would say the biggest thing that gives you is a psychological feeling, right? Because you owe 4 credit card companies money. You're going to pay off one of them and close it. I only owe 3 people money. Pay off the next smallest one. Close it. I only owe 2 people money. And I want to say, if you've got credit card problems and you can't discipline yourself, you shouldn't have more than 1, maybe 2 credit cards. Now, when you start getting really smart about it, and if you are disciplined enough to pay it off every month, and I mean you don't carry a single balance a single month. You have enough spare money to pay off your balance every month, then you can start looking at reward programs. But let's not even talk about those in this video, because you're in debt right now and you need to get out of debt first, and then you need to get, after this, you need to build up an emergency fund. Those are your steps. Pay off your credit cards, save up an emergency fund so you don't ever have to use your credit cards again, and carry a balance. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thank you.